I don't really have any designs that are like ready to go right now. I've had these honestly since like the beginning of the year. It's beautiful. It kind of stinks. Hello. So if you guys watched last week's video, you'll know that we worked on a lot of art and some art minis for Mother's Day. But good news, we've sold a bunch of art since that video, which means I have to break out all stops Art Crazy for the shows coming up. I'm so thankful this little Mother's Day launch went really well, but we need to get down in the shop and start making again. So to be honest, I don't really have any designs that are like ready to go right now. So what I'm thinking we might do is just go down in the shop. I have one design that's already cut that needs shaped and painted to complete a piece, but we might just go down and start building and create some backers and just see what comes out of it. When I'm struggling with being creative, I know the least thing I can do is start prepping some backers and getting some things ready for designs to be put on them. So I think that's what we're gonna do today because my brain is just not braining right now, to be honest. So if you're doing any kind of mosaic work, I do always try and have some mosaic pieces cut down and wrapped together in plastic just for days like today when I really can't think about what I need to do. It was really easy for me to grab these backers that were already cut, grab some white oak that was already cut, and just start building. Now this is a really simple design. I actually haven't even drawn the flowers for this one yet. My idea is to have some type of triptych design where these two triangles will be on the side and then there will be a bigger build in the middle. Again, probably white oak, probably a very neutral flower. I need to replace that large white oak piece that I just sold as something neutral in my booth. So I think this would be a fun way to do it and get some symmetry involved. But yeah, just a little tip if you're doing any mosaic building, always have those slats somewhere in your shop. So even though I have the CNC running and I'm making some CNC signs, I am focused on making art in this season, and LOL at me watching the new Handmaid's Tale. Well, not the new season here, but just a big massive fire while I'm painting the cutest, girliest little flowers. But you know, that's a very good representation of me, I think. A little chaos, a little girly. I love it.
Can we be friends for now? On each side, only reflections apart, but never more. I've been away for a while.
Well, hello. So it's the next day, obviously. I'm not in the same outfit. And you could tell last night I was looking ready for bed as I was filming. But we finished and sealed the two pieces that I was working on last night. And I did finish another piece this morning as far as like the burning painting part of it. I'm going to go on a quick run and then we're going to get them framed and start building around those since they have been drying since this morning. I did a little like varnish finish on them. I'll show them to you so you can see them. This one I really like the colors of. I wasn't expecting the background of this to be like that minty sagey color, but you know what, it works and I'm really happy with it. So that's going to be kind of like a tri-oval walnut thingy going on. I cut the ovals on my laser, so I'll go down and show you those here in a second. So the next one, I kind of had these offcuts already paired with some inserts that I could paint or do something with, and I've had these honestly since like the beginning of the year, just sitting up in my craft room, so I'm glad I can finally start working on them. But this is kind of a replica of the little anemone mini that I just made in paint wood burn form, obviously. My plan is to frame it out, and I have the offcuts from my Amethyst Equinox mosaic that I'm going to use in this with the same color scheme and do a kind of like chaotic geometric piece together. So not a ton of room to fill, which is totally okay with that idea. I'm thinking that I am going to, and I might flip this side because this side's a little smoother. I'm thinking I might go ahead and spray paint this black first, just that way if the pieces don't firmly touch together and you see through to the back, or you're not seeing this like crappy OSB stuff. But I think that's going to be cool and a cute way to use that. And then this is the one I worked on this morning. Didn't film it all for YouTube, but filmed for my short videos on TikTok and Instagram. But again, it's going to be a little insert. I love the background of this. It really just makes the flowers pop, but we have some white flowers, some orange, some yellow pops. I'm really digging the wood burn in the painting. I haven't done one of these honestly since last Mosaic Madness, so probably since like March I haven't done this technique, and we're going to be bringing it back for a little bit because man, just something about it. They really pop, and it's still using the wood and it's still getting the color, which I like. Speaking of art season, my lovely UPS man just came. I had to sign for these because this was $600 worth of art prints. So when you're buying prints, it is a big investment, and I feel like I'm just now starting to get to the point where I'm selling a little bit more prints where I can invest a little bit more into selling them. But wow, dropping that money, I've dropped a lot of money in the past 2 weeks, between $600 here and $1,700 on a new tent, which hopefully you guys will see in this video, because that should be coming literally today or tomorrow. And I would like to try and set it up. It might rain, so we might not get to set it up until later this weekend, but you know, when I'm charging higher pieces for my art, these are the moments I have to remind myself, because not only is that money obviously not going to me to pay my bills or to eat or anything like that, it's being reinvested back into the business. But $2,200 in literally 2 days spent is a lot of money. I remember when I used to make that in my corporate job for 2 weeks worth of pay. So it is humbling that I can spend it on my business, but also terrifying because that's all money that I don't get to use for myself and my bills. So yeah, when you see art prices, just know it's to cover things like this and also let me eat. Because if you can't tell, your girl loves some food as well. So jumping into working on finishing these wood burn painted pieces, I realized I don't even think that I filmed much of the purple one, but super excited about this one that I finished that morning. So I immediately got to attaching the insert and cutting the pieces for it. I knew I wanted to keep it fairly simple because I had this wood that was just so gorgeous, and we'll talk about it a little bit later because it took me a while to figure out what the heck it even was. But it's such a deep chestnut color, and I felt like it was still really neutral, even with the slight pops of coral in the painting. Nothing is honestly as truly satisfying as oiling up a hardwood piece. There's just something about it when the colors pop and you get to see the wood grain, and just really has the piece come to life. Now this one, I did use the same wood for the inner frame, so I just went ahead and re-oiled them as well, since they're all gonna match. They were oiled, but after setting for a day to get these other pieces on, I felt like it needed a little touch up. But man, this color is so pretty. So I officially did attach and get the smaller mini pieces I was working on attached. I'm getting a little nervous as far as, am I gonna be able to get all of this done? So I think that's why I really have to have a long night tonight, because tonight will be the determining factor as to like, is it gonna get done or is it not? But I do have my largest show of the year, Three Rivers Art Festival in Pittsburgh, in like 2 weeks. So if I don't finish it for this show, definitely gonna finish it for Three Rivers. But I have 3 minis in a good spot. 2 other minis started, actually we'll say 3 other minis started, because one of them is going to be just a mirror, but I want to build it out to be like a mosaic mirror, and this large piece to finish up. So it is Tuesday. I need to leave at like lunchtime Friday. So we have about 3 days to just see what we can get done. So yay! But here's a glimpse of the minis that I've attached. So loving this walnut and love the gradient pattern we got going on. So need to just cut off the ends here. My boyfriend didn't love that the oval got cut off, but I kind of planned it to be that way. Maybe that was a mistake, design mistake, maybe not, but I don't know. We'll try it out and see. But we have this one with the Woodburn, which I really, really like the inside paintings of these. The Anemone Modern Mosaic, so cool. This is the same color scheme as the big round mosaic I did, and I really, really, really like this one. I knew I was gonna like the colors because I love that round mosaic that I still currently have, but just something about the funkiness of like these random geometrics just really pulls my eye, and the fact that I dropped some color in there, like, I think took it over the top. I might make a big piece like this, like a bigger piece, because it's really cool. And it honestly took me a while to like position all these random pieces and make it fit, but it turned out cool. And then attached this guy this morning, which you saw. Again, just didn't feel like talking to the camera. I'm still unsure what this wood is. I know a lot of you that watch are woodworkers. If any of you know what this is, our first guess was hickory. This is what it looks like before it's oiled, and it's super dense and super heavy. I literally have no clue. This was given to me, but it's very, very sturdy. Somebody bought it to make furniture, and I ended up receiving it. But it's beautiful. It kind of stinks, and that's what makes me think it's hickory. But if you have any clues, let me know. All right, editing Emily here. Not hickory, so I'll give you 3 seconds to ring in your guesses. 3, 2, 1. It's Brazilian walnut, aka Ippy, I think is how you say it. A super hardwood. Dulled my saw blades like crazy. So there you go. There's your wood lesson of the day. But again, really loving this piece as well. So that's what we got currently in a really good spot. Now we have 3 minis and 1 giant we need to get in a good spot tonight. And I also didn't mention we have just regular, like our normal carved signs and things like that to frame up as well. So we still have a lot to do in 3.5 days, but I'm feeling good about it. I've never done this show before, so I really don't know what to expect. But like I said, Pittsburgh is coming up, and I know that one is a doozy for me. So I just am like I'm mentally in Pittsburgh mode, and whatever I make this weekend is just happy extra, because I know Pittsburgh's going to be wild. So. I feel like in this video, I'm bouncing from many different projects, but to be very honest, that is my everyday life. There was probably about 8 to 10 projects going on this week. Not only the art pieces I was trying to finish, but also we had customs on deck that needed to be done in the next week, and just other things that I know I have to get done. So I feel like sometimes there's just really not enough time in the day, and working by myself, it is hard to get everything done between the projects, between the marketing, between these videos. It does become a lot, and you know, I wish I didn't have to sleep, but I do. I really just try and think about what needs done and how much time each project is going to take. So, for example, the shaping and stuff that I'm doing here, all the steps for the shaping and the painting take a while. So not only is it shaping, it's priming, it's sanding, it's painting, it's dry time, it's assembling. So something like that is going to take a lot longer than, say, just like a simple painted or carved sign. So I try and think about how long the project is going to take me and bounce around to the most intense project, we'll say, first, and work down from there. And of course, very Emily of me, we had to make some weights for my brand new tent that I got. So I had to send Jake out to get all the supplies, and that took probably a couple hours of work time for my night. Thank goodness I had his help, because I don't know if I could have done it by myself, at least the concrete pouring part. But we got everything assembled, and I will make a separate video for that later if you need some tent weights. Hello, as you can tell, it is now nighttime. Hair looking crazy, glasses on, makeup off. So working late in the shop to just get some things finished. So currently sanding some 3D pieces for a white oak oval. So I'm going to get those painted tonight. I'm almost done sanding them. I think then I would like to work on shaping another 3D piece, because honestly, I need to get that probably a minimum shaped and primed tonight, or it can't go, and that's a whole nother art piece that wouldn't be able to go. And I think that's the priority right now, and just thinking of like what needs done when. That's going to be something that's going to take a little bit more time with the painting process than a few of the other tasks I need to get done. So that's what we'll be doing tonight. Already yawning, not a good sign. As you saw, we did finish my concrete weights last minute before the show. So I'm going to probably do like a full, like quick minute, like everything I bought, how I did it kind of thing. I'm not going to put that in this video, but if you want to learn how to make these weights. So I made Jake go after work to pick up the materials, and honestly, they weren't cheap. It was like $212 at Lowe's to get all the materials for this, but they are definitely going to be way heavier than anything else I was using on my tent, especially because a lot of the shows I'm doing this year are in the streets and not in the grass where I can, you know, tether down my tent. So I think it's worth the investment. Should have done this a long time ago, honestly, even with my pop-up, but hey, better late than never. Doing things last minute, never great, but seems to always be my strategy. All right, let's sand some things before I fall asleep. I try to show you guys the realist behind the scenes that I can, and as you know, these pieces always take a lot of time and a lot of work, and like I said earlier, I have been feeling a little overwhelmed, and I think it's just a good thing, because I'm feeling overwhelmed with my business growing, and that's really what it comes down to. I have a lot of requests for customs. I have a lot of people now seeking custom art, which is really cool. So I feel like I'm getting to the point now where people understand my style and how I make things. So it's very cool to just see this whole thing grow. And it's also overwhelming, but I try and tackle it as best as I can, try and handle it as best as I can. And I just want to say thank you. Honestly, my YouTube community here has been nothing but supportive, and it's so humbling every time I come on here and I get vulnerable and I share my process and my story, and you guys are just here to back me, and I cannot thank you enough for that. And a lot of these pieces that I showed you have already sold. You'll see them go home at the very, very end, but it's always mind-blowing to me that my art gets to sit in someone's home, and it's such an honor. It's never taken lightly here from me, and no matter how many pieces I sell, that feeling never gets old. So I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for watching these videos. Thank you for buying my art. Thank you for sharing it and supporting me and letting me do this as a job. I can't thank you enough.